like, this is what I see. Kaia's parents want somebody that's stable, and I get it, you know. For the longest time I've dated a lot of actors, and for the longest time I didn't, because I was like, in fact most of the guys I've dated have been actors and chefs, but that's another story for another day. But I've dated a lot of actors, and in the beginning I was like, I don't see my life with somebody that travels like that, and you never know if they're gonna be on set with somebody and something's gonna happen. And not that I'm a very jealous person, I love welcome back to My Life Tarot. My name is Hallie. So grateful to have you all. Let's get into this reading. I have 2 memberships if you're interested. I release early videos for both my memberships, so you often watch these earlier. You also can make requests. The other membership is about learning tarot, so if you're interested in that, check that out. Okay, so I'm doing couples update. I'm doing 3 couples today. I'm doing Nicki Minaj first, with Kenneth, Butler and Kaia Gerber, and then Britney Spears and Asghari. So please like the video. I will have timestamps up. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Okay, so let's start with Nicki Minaj and Kenneth Petty. I recently saw some headlines saying, it popped up on my phone. Well, not my phone, I don't know where it popped up, but popped up somewhere that somebody's suing them. I did say that I strongly see him kind of ruining her reputation and getting worse and worse. Nicki Minaj's sun in Sagittarius. Actually, it was a year ago when I did a live about it, so check that out. I can't believe it was a year ago. That's absolutely insane. It's years gone by like this. Yeah, so I'm just pulling up energy about that, seeing what's been going on with them lately. So Knight of Wands, the Moon, and the Empress. By the way, I'm using Crystal Magic Tarot. I love this tarot deck. So gorgeous. This is the packaging. It only cost me like $23. It's really, really worth it. I am creating a tarot deck soon, so check it out. I'm trying to figure out pricing, printing, all that stuff. I am doing many things at one time, and I really want to just focus on that next year, so we'll see what happens. So stay tuned. Okay, so with Knight of Wands, the Moon, and the Empress. Okay, so I have a strong feeling that the reason why Nicki was so drawn to Ken was because he made her feel special. And I think he has, his sun is in Aries, he has a way of kind of like being very charming. Fire signs in general, very, very charming. And he has a way of charming her that nobody else does. He'll like be very romantic with her, the Moon card, he'll be very romantic with her, and make her feel, general energy, 8 of Cups, like his overall ambition is to be with her, you know? And he just makes her feel like she's the only one. And that's what she really likes, especially with Knight of Wands. You know, he came in, he was like, you're the one for me, and we're meant to be together. So let's see, 8 of Cups, 8 of Cups, 8 of Cups. So because of that, she's kind of blinded. And this is something Sagittarius, Sun in Sagittarius, Moon Sagittarius, Rising Sagittarius, that is their shadow side. Somebody can come and flatter them and make them feel good enough that it kind of blinds them. That's why sometimes Sagittarius will find themselves in relationships that are toxic. I mean, we all do. But the outside world can see, hey, this person is not good for you. But they're like, no, this person is for me, because they flattered them so much that it forces, well, it makes the Sagittarius feel like, oh, it flatters their ego. And because they flatter the ego, they've confused it with love. And they've confused it with the person genuinely liking them. So 4 Wands, the Lovers, and Ace of Swords, the Marriage card. She's gonna keep writing this out for a long time until she's had enough. And by had enough, I mean there's gonna be story after story. In fact, I see him like fighting with people. fighting with people. He's got anger problems. See that? And this is intuitive based, but he has anger problems. And the Hierophant, Nine of Coins, and the Star. He has anger problems, and these type of situations are going to end up weighing heavy on her fans, just on a lot of people so that are in her life, and people are going to be pushing her that are close to her to say, hey, why are you still with this guy? You know, he does this, he does that. And she's going to be like, no, because in her court, and a lot of Sagittarius are like this, they're true romantics, you know, and they'll ride for the person that they're with, so much so that it will end up affecting the rest of their life, because they're so into that person, and that person can be detrimental to their life and their well-being. So if you're Sagittarius, Sun in Sagittarius, Moon Sagittarius, I'd love to hear, and Venus Sagittarius, I'd love to hear if you've had that experience where you feel like, you know, it just didn't work out with someone, and you were like pushing it to work out with them and it didn't. Okay, so I'm going to move on to Austin Butler and Kaia Gerber. Austin is a Sun in Leo, Kaia is a Sun in Virgo. Just doing an update on him. I did a video on him, 2 videos a while ago. Yeah, he's very good looking, my goodness, wow. And I can't believe he's just, wow, gorgeous. Okay, so she's very pretty. Very, very pretty. Okay, so let's do an update on them. Wow, okay, so this is not looking good. I'm going to be honest with you guys. This is intuitive based, not fact based, so please take it. We all have free will, so forth, so forth. So the Four of Cups, the Justice, and the Empress. I see very strongly here. He wants marriage, but her parents, and I did say this before. Oh my gosh, I'm just remembering I did do a reading on them, and I said that her parents want her to be with somebody else. They have 2 different, and you know, that's one of the hardest things about relationships. You can like somebody a lot, you can be in love with somebody, but if your future trajectories look so different, there's really no point in being with that person, you know? That's what happened in my last relationship. I have to admit that I did not see a future with them, and it sucks, but it's life. And especially with Four of Cups, she's having to be, because, you know, Sun of Virgo, she's often the logical one, and he's like King of Wands energy, very much like, let's go with the wind, we'll see what happens. And she's like, no, I don't want to see. Very logical, you know, she's like, I don't want to see, I'm thinking about my future, I'm thinking about my career, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, so what, you know? It's interesting because Vanessa Hudgens is also a Sun of Virgo, and that's his ex before her. So yeah, I don't see it lasting more than a year. I see by the end of the year they will no longer be together, because I feel like, this is what I see, Kaia's parents want somebody that's stable, and I get it, you know. For the longest time I've dated a lot of actors, and for the longest time I didn't, because I was like, in fact most of the guys I've dated have been actors and chefs, but that's another story for another day. But I've dated a lot of actors, and in the beginning I was like, I don't see my life with somebody that travels like that, and you never know if they're gonna be on set with somebody and something's gonna happen. And not that I'm a very jealous person, I love, you know, I dated a producer, and when he would go away I'd be like, this is great, go be on set, leave me alone. But what's different about acting, and all the actors I've dated have been sweet, very kind, considerate, empathetic, wonderful people, you know. I think very highly of my actor exes. But when you are a logical person, it's very difficult to be with somebody that's a constant dreamer, you know, because you want to say to them, okay, so what about the future? And they're like, what about the future? We'll see what happens. And it's like, you can't live life like that if you're a logical person. I tend to be drawn to more logistics, the logic side of life, and I don't see myself and I can see this with her too, with somebody that's constantly dreaming and wondering where the next paycheck is coming from, you know. It's a very being an actor or actress, it just can create insecurity within someone. I think that's why a lot of them have addiction issues and so forth, because it creates this uncertainty that very few people really understand, you know. I'll give you an example. I dated this actor, great guy, I think very highly of him, and just before we started dating, he was like, oh, but he landed a movie role and he had to go somewhere, you know. I don't want to say what or when because I don't want to divulge that information about him, but we couldn't really have a full-term relationship because he had to go, you know. So stuff like that, it just creates like your life. If you're with an actor, you really have to dedicate your life to them, and that's something I don't think actors realize, that not everybody's up for that lifestyle, and I don't think she is up for that lifestyle. So Knight of Wands, Queen of Cups, Six of, she's gonna be the one to break up with him, and I get October. So I strongly feel like it's October 2023. It could be October next year, but I think this October they're going to call it quits. I wish them only the best. By the way, I used the moon chart time for this. I wish them only the best and lots of love, and it's not easy. Okay, so I'm gonna move on to Britney Spears and Sam Asghari. Britney is a sun in Sagittarius. Sam is a sun in Pisces. Okay. Yeah, same thing. Please like the video, comment, subscribe. Okay, so recently, you know, we've seen the headlines that they're getting divorced and so forth and so forth. I did say that I saw Sam having some kind of information on her. It came out that he's trying to extort her. I don't know if that's the truth, but it does feel like he has some deeper knowledge, some secrets, and he's a sun of Pisces. You know, sun of Pisces are ruled by Neptune, which is the planet of secrets, secrecy, things in the shadows. So I wouldn't even be surprised if he was secretly like taping her, recording her without her knowledge, and he's gonna use those against her. Very, very unfortunate. It's just so sad that it's come to this. And I did say in my last video, I really don't believe he is a gold digger. I really, really don't. I mean, I'd be very upfront with that. I think it got the best of him. And like I've said before, I've dated two famous people. It was not easy. And I've also I'm gonna say, I've had my encounters with quite a few famous people. And it's not for the faint-hearted. You know, people always, not always, but a lot of the time, people will say, yeah, you know, it must be so nice being with somebody famous and so forth. Like, the second time I dated somebody famous, I told one or two people, because I just felt like the more people knew from my past relationship, the more people knew, the less I wish they had known, because they treated me differently. Suddenly they were my friends, suddenly they wanted to be cool with me. And before that, they really were not that into me, you know? So you see a lot of users come out of the surface. You have to have a very thick skin. You're gonna see things in tabloids about them with other people. And you just have to really, I don't think celebrities realize that if you are with somebody that's not a celebrity, that they have to give up a lot of their life to be with you. And I think Sam feels bitter because he feel appreciated for who he really was. I think he came in true. I think he was honest. And I think he tried to have as much dignity as possible. But I don't think that they are culturally compatible. And I don't think that, especially one being Sun of Pisces, the other being Sun of Sagittarius. Sun of Pisces is about morals, you know, is about doing the right thing, is about, you know, stuff like that, like constantly having compassion for other people. However, Sun of Sagittarius can be very self-driven, very selfish, very self-oriented. It's all about the self for Sun of Sagittarius. It's not a bad thing. I think sometimes we have to learn to be selfish. But I think Britney Spears was too selfish in this relationship. And I think he helped her a lot with Queen of Wands, Knight of Wands. He helped her a lot. It's almost like he helped her break free, you know? And now he kind of wishes that the Tower, he wishes he hadn't. And he wishes, because he's seeing a change in her. He's shocked by how different she's acting. He's like, this is what she was like? And now he can relate to her other exes. Now he's like, wow, this is what they were telling me. You know, I think even one of the exes had warned him. I think Kevin Federline warned him and was like, be careful, she has another side to her. You know, he was like, no, I don't believe them. He wanted the best. He was rooting for the best. And obviously he does have things he has to work on too. Like, he seems very naive, but he is also still very young. He seems very naive and very, but it's also a cultural thing, you know. I used to live in LA. There's a huge Persian population. I'm not saying every Persian person is like this, but I admire so much. A lot of Persian people I met are just very sweet, kind, genuinely considerate people, and they're very family oriented. But what's different about that culture and American culture is that I feel like certain cultures are more selfish, and American culture can be very, very selfish. And it's not a bad thing, you know. It's just, you need to know what you're dealing with when you deal with different cultures. So at the bottom of the deck, being Three of Crystals, he's really planning his exit strategy. He's like, oh my gosh, I have no money, I have no this, I have no that. He's working from a fear-based mentality, where he's like, I don't have this, I don't have that. And I think he needs to switch his framing, switch the way he sees things, and focus on what he has. I don't think LA is for him. I wouldn't be surprised if he moves and focuses just on his fitness, you know. Like, one of J-Lo's ex-husbands did that, but he moved to Miami, actually, and he only focused on his dancing. I could see that happening here. I could see him moving, only focusing on his fitness stuff, and realizing, hey, I don't want to be an actor. I don't want to be around that world. He seems too genuine to be in Hollywood. So the Star, Queen of Swords and Three of Wands. Britney's going to move. Let's see where she might move back to the south. But her family is coming back into the picture. It's going to be different this time because the world sees who they are. But the mother's gonna come back. This is gonna come back. I don't see the dad coming back, but the family's coming back into the picture, and they're gonna help her trash Sam. It's sad that it's ending like this. It really is. At least they don't have children together. But yeah, it really is. This is the problem that I see very strongly, and I keep seeing it. Page of Wands, Two of Swords, and the Empress. Britney, and I have a lot of empathy for what she went through, but she cannot use what has happened to her against other people. It doesn't work like that. It's time for her to step up and come from a humble place, you know, and to really humble herself enough to say, I'm sorry. To, you know, just because she has freedom doesn't mean she can do whatever she wants. And I said that before when I did the reading about her and her children, that they were uncomfortable with her posing almost naked. Because it's, if I were her children, I'd be upset too. So it's about compromise. And I think she needs to learn compromise. So that's what I have for you all. I love you all. Thank you so much for watching. Please like the video. Please comment. If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. I have many more great videos coming. Yeah, take care.